All right, so we are live. Hello once again at Facebook Live. This is today is the 25th of September.
That is right.
This is a behind-the-scenes recording of our show, which will be aired this Monday, actually, September 30th. I am here with our very own Pronto Comics, Dominic Definition Man Sperano.
Luckily, I can't hear a word you say, so...
And we have our engineer, Steve Zambo, over there.
Hello.
Now I can.
Yeah, made it all worth it.
We are going to have a special guest on the phone, two of them, from the Magic Garden, Carol Demas and Paula Janis. They'll be calling in very shortly, or we'll be contacting them very shortly.
Yes.
Normally I do the house cleaning, but we are on a time thing, so we'll do the house cleaning afterwards. And, that.
Yep, make sure you got that by your
I thought you were
position.
just gonna. I think you're gonna say like we actually have a clean house for once.
Oh ho!
Thank you.
Oh, do you have it?
That doesn't work.
Oh, wait. I got this. Give me a second.
We're still working out the kinks. We're
Literally a wire kink, which is one of the worst things that we can have right now.
Better than a copper wire kink.
Oh, that's always a good thing.
Oh man.
Don't curse me with that, please.
Copper piping kink.
All right, so I left my note for Dominic.
I got a story for you.
Remind
Oh,
Dominic
boy.
about the Tuesday Soprano thing. Don't forget about the Tuesday Soprano thing.
Yeah. Well, I
I
actually
did my-
need some actual
My job on that. They're gonna send me the email, but I just want to remember that you know what's gonna happen.
Oh no,
and
I already took off.
Okay.
We're going. I'm looking forward to this. I just need.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
Details.
They're gonna send me the list and everything.
Okay.
Supposedly as soon as possible, because they're supposed to send me a list of all the people who are gonna be there and
The
who we're gonna get to
deet
talk and all the
arenas.
red carpet stuff.
Okay.
So we're waiting on that.
Do you know how many of them I'm gonna ask? Like, by the way, do you think Charlie looks like Henry
Beautiful.
Hill? That's gonna be my go-to question for everyone.
Okay.
Do you think that, Charlie?
So while we're just setting up
Does this guy look like
for
Henry
the
Hill?
next
Huh?
for the next few minutes,
Just give me 2 moments while I just get everything all.
You can have 3 if you like.
100%. Nah. I don't need that much. Now you're just being kind.
yeah. So we'll be doing the live show on the 25th of 25th live show. Ah.
Whoop. That's okay.
This is
Boom.
wait the whatever the hell that is just fell over.
That's okay. Well, speaking of that, the
Poor
signals-
guy.
As we just destroy your studio today, just breaking.
Miss you, little
Spared no
guy.
expense.
You're a good guy. Whoever
right.
you are.
I think we are all ready to go.
All right. I believe we're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. So when you're ready, you know which one to hit.
Ready there, Dominic?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
All right. Here we
You
go.
Ready?
The following is brought to you in part by MFC Studios. The views of the show's host and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management, owners, or staff of this radio station. And now, it came from the radio.
Yapatoy, and welcome once again to It Came From the Radio, the official of the Big Apple Con. This is your host, Mark Torres, speaking. With me in the GHR studio, I have our very own Pronto Comics, Dominic Definition Man Sperano.
Hello.
And we have our very own engineer from GHR, we have Zambo.
Hello. You know,
Um,
it sounds like you guys never left. I hope you guys know that.
Well, technically we haven't, if people are listening to us each week. Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho.
Our senior correspondent, Charlie Saladino, is having his second grandchild born today, so we wanted to make sure we mention that. That's why he's not here with us.
So he's on personal assignment.
he's on-
Today's a fine day to be born.
He's on he's on
Personal
personal assignment.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna do all that. This week we're going to be talking with, to, and about two very special friends of the shows. They are talents from back in the day. They are Carol Demas and Paula Janis from the Magic Garden. They're going to be calling in very shortly.
right.
They're having a show out in Long Island on the 6th of October, which is this Sunday if you're listening to us on the air. And there again, if you're listening to us on the air on the right time, because you might be listening to us well after the show, but then it won't matter.
Oh dear God, get out of your head, man.
They'll be talking about that. They might even sing a song because they're really cool people. Before we do that, we're going to take away with the news. The news is brought to you in part by the fine folks of the Big Apple Con, of which we are the official radio show of, celebrating over 23 years of pop culture and comic book stuff. For more information, go to www.bigapplecc.com. Their next convention will be on December 14th. It will be the Big Apple Christmas Con. So far, the headliner the headliner that they have announced is
Chris,
legendary
Santa Claus.
artist.
Santa Claus. Santa Claus will be there.
The jackal.
Santa. Mike Carbonaro will dress up as Santa Claus. That'd be an awesome.
That'd be well. There'd be plenty of snow around him.
Yes.
Oh, you took my joke.
Yeah, that's right.
So they have
So much
legendary
snow.
legendary artist Jim Steranko will be there. They're still getting more
Steranko.
people. Yes, so he'll be
You
there.
don't just go Steranko. You go Steranko.
And also want to do the shout outs to the Patreons, of which they are Danny Grillo,
You ever
award
meet-
winning.
You ever meet Steranko?
Yeah, he
He
drew.
is so short.
Yeah, I met
He's
him
like
at.
tiny.
I actually met him in person at the Keystone Comic Con, and he signed the cover of a book that he commissioned of my character.
Right.
And he was like, "Yeah, I remember doing that." I'm like, "Well, that's awesome." So I felt like,
But it's almost like
validated.
you're seeing like Steranko is his own mini me.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I-
really is like his own little mini
it
figure
was
of
it was
himself.
it was such a weird experience running into him because, like I said, I had already commissioned him to do a cover, but I never. It was through a third party. It was for our
Right.
friend Mariano, so
Right.
it was so weird just
Who knows
finally.
Bill?
Yes, it was weird how finally meeting him after he'd already done work for me, 100 years ago. It was very weird, kind of wibbly
Still cool,
wobbly
though.
stuff. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool. It was.
It was good to
just one.
reconnect
It
with
was,
you older people.
Wibbly wobbly,
There
timey
you go.
wimey.
Stuff.
Good use of that button.
yes.
There we go.
Well done.
Very good. Off to a good
So,
start.
and we also want to mention the Patrons, of which they are Danny Grillo, award-winning director Jared Burrell, Two Sentence Horror, Millie Portes, Kyle Horn, Dresden Media, Unjikun, Bree Nicholas, and Shadow Rabbit Art. If you
Oh,
want
did we
to-
add a new one there?
We added a new one,
Go
yes.
Shadow Rabbit.
So if you want your own little shout-out, go to www.patreon.com, look up Game for the Radio search bar, and just for a
Now,
measly
just
dollar,
because you mentioned
you
Shadow
can,
Rabbit, I just want
get
to
a
say
shout-out.
Shadow Rabbit will be at the Pronto Comics booth at New York Comic Con,
next week.
1242 next week on Thursday.
Yes, make sure you
Awesome.
go check out his stuff.
So I want to give him his own shout out since you just mentioned him.
Yes, yes.
Nice.
So yeah, but now let's take it away with the news. Hey, we don't have a timer.
Oh yeah, I fixed it for you.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
It's right there.
Yeah, sticking down because I started it roughly 3 minutes after
Gotcha,
the show,
all
so I'm
right.
like, okay, but don't worry, it's
All right.
okay if you go a little over. We
I'm
know how it works.
used to it going up instead of counting
I know.
down to my impending doom.
Don't panic.
Which, by the way, everyone, Pronto Comics, New York Comic Con, booth 1242 in small press. Come and check us out.
Unless you listening to this after that week, then you're.
Oh,
over.
whatever.
Before I
But if
forget,
you're
It's
on
going to come out
Facebook
on
Live.
Monday, right?
Yeah, it's coming out this Monday, the 30th of September. But if
perfect.
you're on Facebook Live, you can also.
Right now.
Yeah, right
and,
now, right now.
Before I forget,
Yes.
Pronto Comics, New York
Yes.
Comic Con,
Yes.
booth 1242.
That's right.
All right, there we go.
There you go.
All
Thank
right.
you.
No problem.
Let's start
Sorry.
off.
I think we need to put Zambo in charge of ads.
Let's start off with the sad news. Actually,
Oh,
we're gonna
great.
we're gonna take it away with the news. So I gotta do this. We're gonna take it away with the news.
Yeah.
Now we start off with the sad news.
Wait a minute.
Sad
Oh,
news.
wait, whoa. Why do we have to have Morphin time for the news?
Morphin time from happy. to
What's that
sad.
about?
Because we're changing. We're morphing into the news.
That's his
Oh
new
my-
transition. scene. Yeah.
Sad news.
I hate you every day.
Emmy award-winning. Let me be serious. Sad news.
Oh,
Emmy
God.
award-winning animation producer J. Michael Mendez has died this week of natural causes.
Did he actually
J-
die this week?
Well, yeah, the
Okay.
week of recording. Yeah, this week, not the
Okay.
week of we're listening to it, because then that'll be in the future, and he hasn't died yet.
Just go
Jay
on.
has produced such shows as The Simpsons, The Critic, The PJs, Drawn Together, Napoleon Dynamite cartoon, and Rick and Morty, just to name a few. Of note, Jay just died a few days from
I'm a
his
pickle, Morty.
55th birthday, which is tomorrow, the 26th of September. So yeah, he was a spry 54.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a damn shame.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that.
So moving on for more sad news. 'cause
Like
we
everyone
gotta-
thinks
we
they're
gotta-
gonna live to an old age, but it's like
Mortality's a fickle thing, man. I mean,
Yeah, man.
Sid. Oh my goodness.
We're getting to it. We're getting
okay,
to it.
We're getting him.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
yeah,
getting
never
him.
mind. Keep going.
Actor Jack Donner also recently died. As of this day of recording, the cause of death has not been released. Jack appeared in such films as, here we go, Demon on the Glass, The Second Coming, Cool Air, The Rocky and Bullwinkle Movie, The War is Over, The Emissary, Operation Dalmatian, The American Dream, Belle Star, and Escape from Hell Island, just to name a few. On the small screen, Jack appeared in such shows as Malcolm in the Middle, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The District, Shasta McNasty, which I love, speaking of Mini-Me, Frasier, Good vs. Evil, Charmed, General Hospital, Conan the Adventurer, Days of Our Lives, Baywatch, Mission Impossible, Star Trek, Kojak, Police Story, Mannix, General Hospital, Man from U.N.C.L.E., Streets of San Francisco, Get Smart, My Favorite Martian, The Flying Nun, I Dream of Jeannie, and The Donna Reed Show, just to name a few.
Oh, he had a pretty long
Woo.
career there.
Didn't the man from Uncle just have a recent reigniting?
I don't know if
Didn't it
that
recently
ever
come back
they had
into the
that,
limelight?
they had
I
the
think it was-
movie.
That's what it
ago.
was. That's
Yes,
what it was. Yeah.
but it was the TV show that he was on.
That's
Which
okay.
I kind of was annoyed. I watched it, and like David McCallum made no cameo, and I figured they should at least have him on because
No.
he's still kicking.
No, they don't.
That would have been kind
But
of
there's no cameo from him because sometimes they did that with the A-Team movie. They had
No Mr. T?
no Mr. T, but they at least had Dirk Benedict and
Dwight Schultz.
Dwight Schultz.
Yes.
make
And even in
cameos.
that disgraceful Starsky and Hutch remake with
Right.
Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller, they
Right.
at least
They
had
the original.
to both come up with the car at the
Although
Yeah.
in the first Dukes of Hazzard there was no cameo. There should have been.
Mm,
No,
there's
cameo
that
there.
too.
they
You got to get them to
they
do the
were
cameo. John Schneider knew the work anyway.
they felt
Tom Wopat definitely knew the work.
they felt that the show was not true to the essence of what Dukes of Hazzard was, which is why they all
The movie?
turned down. Yes, they all turned down doing cameos of the original cast members. at
All
the
it
time.
was basically a
Extended
2-hour
It was-
long
episode.
It was-
episode.
It
Yeah.
was more kind of slightly towards the R rating side than the PG rating side, and they felt that
Well, it was done by Broken Lizard.
Yeah, but they felt it wasn't
Yeah.
what the show was about, which is why they turned it down.
I'm pretty certain they don't. You know what? You don't put your morals to the side on this one. Get a paycheck.
Sell out for once, damn it.
Yeah, really.
So
Like,
Jack
he needs it for that divorce he's going through.
yeah. So Jack was a spry 90 years old. That's why he has such a long
See, I'm
career
liking that.
in TV.
Like you're in extra innings when you're doing 90. You're playing with house money.
Oh, yeah.
More sad news. More sad news.
There's a lot.
Yes, actor Aaron Eisenberg, best known for his role of Nog on the Star Trek series Deep Space Nine, also died recently from a heart attack. In addition to Deep Space Nine, which ran from 1993 to 1999, Aaron appeared in such shows as Amityville Horror 4, The Evil Escapes, The Wonder Years, Parker Lewis Can't Lose, Tales from the Crypt, The Secret World of Alec Mack, Star Trek Voyager, The Vision, and Blade of Honor, just to name a few. On the big screen, Aaron appeared in such films as Beverly Hills Brats, Puppet Master Part 3, Tullian's Revenge, The Liars Club, Pterodactyl Women from Beverly Hills, I want to see that movie
That's
now,
amazing.
and Walk to Vegas. He
Wow.
was a young,
He was like 50.
50.
He was 50. I saw that.
and even 50, yeah.
Yeah, I really don't like that.
That's almost just as good as a title as Jesus Christ the Vampire Hunter.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Well, there's also another one, too.
Oh, really?
I swear to
they
God.
made a sequel.
No. This is literally a legit 70s movie. This was back when, sorry kids, hold your horses. This was back when Netflix was DVD only. And I saw this title and I'm like, Dad, I want to get this. Can you please order it? Because it was his account. And he's like, yeah, that looks pretty ridiculous. Let's get it. We watched it full on 70s, like B movie style.
Was it everything you thought it could be?
It was everything that I thought it could be from a 70s movie and more.
That's
Oh,
what I
wow.
want to see.
Especially.
Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter.
Jesus
I wanna
Christ
see
Vampire
that.
Hunter. I'm
Now I want to see that too.
I kind of want. Yeah. Now
So
I
it's
wanna
it's
know
like
that.
that's literally like that's like a dual saga system right there. You got
That's-
Jesus Christ and you have Abraham Lincoln. What's next? Who is gonna be next? Come on,
Super
Come on.
Jesus.
Guy Fieri, Vampire Hunter. Who knows? Like, come on.
Well, I mean, in that respect, then you got to go with like Martin Luther King Jr. Vampire Hunter, because
Oh
if
my
you don't throw in a black vampire hunter,
Zombie
Yeah, yeah.
killer.
Yeah, zombie killer would be good.
Martin Luther
You know what'd
King,
be really awesome?
zombie killer.
Martin
Yeah.
Luther King Jr. Vampire Hunter
Yep.
falls in love with a vampire woman. They have a kid, Blade.
Oh my God.
How
So, yeah.
awesome would that be?
That's the title card. This is the title. If you guys were looking at it, Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. There you go.
That
This
is
is made in
so-
2001.
All right.
That is so bad.
It is
Um,
amazing. Like
That is so bad.
so, not to spoil anything, but when the person dies in the car, there's just red jelly, like just strawberry jelly, just
gonna be a good time.
just dripping from the windshield, and you just go.
The only thing that would
"Oh
make
my
that better is
God."
Roger Corman Presents.
or made by Asylum Films. I love those guys.
Oh, man. But anyway,
So last bit of sad news.
I digress.
Actor Sid Haig also
Yes.
died recently following complications from a lung infection. Sid appeared in such films as Bloodbath, It's a Bikini World, Spider Baby, THX 1138, Foxy Brown, The Swashbuckler, Choo Choo and the Philly Flash, Galaxy of Terror, Wizards of the Lost Kingdom Part 2, The Forbidden Dance, Jackie Brown, House of a Thousand Corpses, Kill Bill Volume 2, The Devil's Rejects, Night of the Living Dead in 3D, the first Halloween, the Haunted World
That's
of
correct.
El Super Beasto, Lords of Salem, which, oh man, that movie was bad. Devil's in My Ride, Bone Tomahawk, Death House. Who would want to live in a death house? Suicide for Teenagers, Suicide for Beginners, I should say, and Three from Hell, just to name a few. I
And
was
you forgot?
small.
Did you forget Diamonds Are Forever?
He was in Diamonds Are Forever.
He's the guy when Sean Connery's in there and like it's a bad thing having to bury one's brother, and he goes, "I got a brother."
That's him.
That's him.
No.
And then
See?
and Sean Connery goes, "Small world."
That's why I say just to name a few. 'cause
Come
there's
on,
more.
Diamonds Are Forever is a major film.
Wow.
On the small screen,
They faked the moon landing in that movie.
on the small screen,
They do.
Sid appeared in such shows as
Gotta watch it again.
The Untouchables, Batman: The Adam West series, Gunsmoke, Mission Impossible, Star Trek: Get Smart, The Flying Nun, Charlie's Angels, Jason of Star Command, Fantasy Island, the original one, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, The Fall Guy, Dukes of Hazzard, speaking of which, The A-Team, speaking of which, MacGyver, the original one,
Speaking of which.
Just the 10 of Us, and Tig Tone, just to name a few.
Wow.
He was another spry 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Once again, just about
yeah,
house money.
it's been a, and this is like I said, this is recently, not like a long time
No,
ago.
this was
recently.
this was like this week or,
Yeah, so
or
that's
Funny
within
enough,
the week.
I do actually remember Sid in THX 1138.
Yeah?
And I had no idea about Diamonds Are Forever, but I didn't realize he was that old until
80, yeah.
Yeah.
the news came out, and I was like, wait, what? And then finally, I like looked at him like at a con table, and I'm like, oh wow, that
Yeah.
blew
I
me-
don't
thought he
like
was
80
not
either. My
that.
dad's 80. I like that.
I
don't
I,
want
it's
that.
Scary
weird.
age,
I didn't
scary
think Nog was 50 because in my mind he's,
He's
still a kid.
Yeah, I understand.
So they're like 50. I'm like, what?
50. You made it 50.
That
Oh my
show was that
God.
long ago? Like, holy,
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Makes you think, yeah.
But moving on to happier news,
Thank
or
God.
not as sad news.
So I don't have to hang
Um,
myself.
Do we have to morph back?
From the Avengers. We should.
Sorry.
We should back to action. From the Avengers, but on the cheap side department.
What?
DC is
Is
in.
that when they're going to make the female Avengers movie because they only have to pay them like 70 cents on the dollar?
Oh, that's,
Ouch.
That's so
That's
wrong.
right.
Oof.
I went there with that.
Oof.
That's why they're going to do a female Avengers. We can pay them less. That's right. I went there.
DC is in full
Please send
swing.
all hate mail to Mark Torres.
DC is in full swing with its upcoming crossover TV event, which is said to bring back as many actors as they can get a hold of to reprise former roles of various
Everyone.
DC characters on the current slate of the Arrowverse shows. Supergirl,
They're going to
Arrow,
resurrect
Flash,
Christopher Reeve.
Batwoman, and Legends of Tomorrow. Former Lex Luthor actor Michael Rosenbaum managed to shed some light on the casting process as well as the behind the scenes of how this is shaping up, with him announcing that he will not be part of this event.
Oh,
Michael says.
Thank you.
Michael says, many of you have asked me about joining the Infinite crossover. I can't tell you how much this means to me, but I'll just be straight about this. WB called my agents Friday afternoon when I was going in Florida to visit my grandfather in a nursing home. This is what they offered. No script, no idea what he's doing, no idea when they're going to be shooting it, basically no money, and we have to know now. My simple answer was pass. I think you can understand why. I hope this answers all your questions. So
I don't get it. Why? Why would you pass on that?
So this actually reminds
If Tom
me.
Welling can, why can't you?
So this actually reminds me of the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers, where Saban sent out letters to all former Rangers asking them to appear in the anniversary episode. From what I have gathered over the years, speaking to some actors, most were expected to travel to New Zealand on their own dime and have a minimal of screen time, some not even having any lines at all, and the pay was standard rate for 1, maybe 2 episodes. So now, because of this, I have lost all confidence in the Arrow universe to make this good, because they don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to grab as many people as
You're not
possible.
watching this to make it good. You're watching this to go like, oh, he's there. Oh, he's there. Oh, he's there. Oh, they got him.
It's,
Oh, they got him.
it's fan
I'm,
service. the
I'm
episode.
watching
That's it.
I'm watching
Yeah.
it because I want it to be good. Don't mess this up.
Why do
But
you
I think
have
they're
these
gonna-
unrealistic expectations?
Because they're going through all the effort of bringing all these people back. The least they could do.
You know
Is
who
make
you
it a good
remind me
story.
of? You remind me of Morpheus, Dream, breaker of his own heart.
Fine. So
You just set yourself up for this, and you like have so much hope, and then you're like, why can't
Well-
they do it my way? It's like because they don't care.
the hope is gone now.
Listen, I expect nothing, and I'm still let down for a lot of things. So
Yes.
I
I'm just
understand.
saying, your letdown versus his letdown. You're like you felt like you tripped.
Yeah.
His letdown is like he jumped off the Empire State Building.
Oh yikes!
Yeah, yeah.
Here we
Wow,
go.
okay.
Like you trip on the sidewalk, you're like, ow. You're like you're pulling the Peter Griffin, going,
that. Yeah.
He's like, why?
Yeah.
I got you. There's a
Um,
very good representation of that in an episode of the latest Rocco's Modern Life special
Yes,
on
yes,
Netflix.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's a perfect representation of this exact moment. And I just went,
Yes.
oh my god. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of crossovers, from the Zoinks, Jeepers, and Jinkies department, as part of the 50th
Something tells
anniversary.
me this will be about Scooby-Doo.
That's a good guess.
Thank you.
As
What
part of
made
the
you get that
50th
idea?
anniversary of none other than
I'm
Scooby-Doo,
clever.
in issue 99 of the new Scooby-Doo team-up comic, the Scooby Gang find themselves teaming up once again with Batman, going up against the infamous Bat-Mite, a reality-warping imp. But that's not all. It turns out that Bat-Mite has a friend along for this adventure,
Is it Bat Might Not?
Scooby. Where is it?
Thank
Wait,
you.
no, wait.
It's
There
not
it is.
Mr. Mixelplick. Right?
It's Scooby Mite, who brings together every incarnation of the Scooby Gang into this one comic. So you get to see the gang as they appeared in A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo Be Cool, Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Incorporated, Shaggy and Scooby Get a Clue, as well as the live-action versions of the gang as they appeared, and also the reimagined Scooby Apocalypse are all going to be in this one comic, teaming up.
So this is somewhere between.
Where's Scrappy in all this?
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
No one
about
cares
Nobody
about
talks
Scrappy.
about Scrappy.
No.
No one talks about Scrappy.
No, we don't want to talk about Scrappy. So this is somewhere between Arrowverse and Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
They're like,
Except
everyone wants
Scoobyverse.
this.
Yeah.
It's the Scoobyverse.
Yes.
The Scubaverse.
You know, they never really answered the question, where was Scooby-Doo? Because, Scooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work. No one,
true.
that's never been answered.
Or what's new,
Right,
Scooby Doo.
right,
Getting high, that's where
Yeah,
it
that's
was.
true.
Just getting high.
Those
Why do I
snacks.
think the
Popping
buttons
those
got
Scooby
reversed,
snaps.
but they aren't?
I don't know. Try
That's
again.
over there.
There you go. There you go. That's okay.
Moving on, from the Doesn't This Plot Sound Familiar department,
So far it does.
actor Nicolas Cage has
Oh,
been
God.
announced to star in the movie called Pig, which is being described as a truffle hunter who lives alone in the forest of Oregon. After his beloved pig is kidnapped, he must confront his past to save her from those that will do her harm.
What is Nicolas Cage's agent's issue here? Is
Nothing,
it
he just
Nicolas Cage or is it the agent who's like,
I think it's Nick. I think Nick just owed a lot of money until
I think he-
recently.
Because he bought
Yeah.
an island.
He bought an island and was
And
in,
then
like,
he
a
spent $1 million
surmountable
on
amount
that
of debt.
comic book. So
that's right.
Yeah, he
you
was in
know.
a lot of debt.
He
so
can't like hit up his uncle like instead of doing bad
Yeah.
movies. He can't be like, "Yo, Uncle Francis, can you just hand me some money, please?
Just
Please, I need some of that Godfather money,
I'm good for it. You know that. Please.
please. Come on, just,
I'll work
Like,
in your movies and you don't have to pay me. Come on.
Yeah,
So-
I'll work the debt off, sir.
Writer director
Could you
Michael
imagine like
Oh my lord.
Francis Ford Coppola's like looks at him like, I can't do it.
Just
For no reason, just does a Brando. It's like, I'm the real Godfather. Then no, you don't
It's
get anything.
really, Uncle? You have to pull that off? I don't know.
Yes,
what it's
I
all
do.
about.
So writer-director Michael Sarnosk says, what began as a very personal project has transformed into a labor of love for so many talented people. I'm thrilled for all of us to bring this strange world to life.
That means that
So
no one's going
basically-
to fund this. That's why it's a labor of love.
So basically, Nicolas Cage is going after revenge for his kidnapped pig.
So this
Doesn't that
is
sound
either
like anything we've heard of before?
this is Taken, but meets John Wick, but with a pig.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's Babe 3 taken from home.
Yeah.
ah,
there you
that's
Boom.
I like that one.
There you go.
Bay 3 taken from home.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Babe, Pig in the City.
What did I just recently see? Oh, I just recently saw Hustlers
Yeah.
with
How
my
was that?
lady. It was it's good.
Yeah? Oof.
It was good enough.
Okay, gotcha.
baby.
Kept me distracted.
There's enough stuff going on in the background. I'm like, all right, I can watch this movie. And I walked out of it with her, and I go, so basically that was the Demi Moore classic of striptease meets Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And it's like always remember this from Bruce Campbell. He said, anytime you get a pitch that it's this meets this means both movies been made and this is going to be terrible.
Yeah. No, he's very much right with that one.
Yeah. But, there's a lot of TNA in this movie, so I was like, all right, I'm good with that.
Woof.
You woof.
Yeah, baby.
Yo, man, J-Lo at 50.
Okay.
And,
Damn.
And
enough.
See,
Damn.
See, we
Fair
were
enough.
just talking about 50. Poor Iron Eastman died at 50. Jennifer Lopez at 50.
Well, he don't have that J-Lo money.
It's mind-boggling
Yeah.
how that is.
You got to have that J-Lo
Something
money.
tells me Nog wasn't a dancer from the age of 5 and constantly working at it and
Probably not.
Is
yeah.
that
I know.
So moving on from
may
the
not.
don't put stock in Facebook events department.
Don't put stock in Facebook either.
While over two, as we say on Facebook Live,
By the way, I have a
well-
Facebook event tonight. Thanks.
while over 2 million people said they were going, with another 1.5 million people said that they were interested in storming Area 51
that's
last week.
stupidity, yeah.
Only 150 people, by rough estimates, actually showed up to raid Area 51 on September
That's because
20th.
they said like this is a fake event.
For-
It's not real.
For those of you who
joke
don't know,
about it.
the Facebook events snowballed from a joke to an actual thing where people were encouraged
They're
to
gonna Naruto
storm
run, right?
the military base in
Naruto
search
run.
of real aliens, with the idea that they, meaning the army, can't kill them all.
Well,
so
if it's only 100 people, yeah, they can.
So
they
100
really
and,
can.
so 150-ish
It's like it's their
people
job.
actually approached the border with the military guys, and they were just staying like, what? So that was the raid.
You're mixing up the millennials' reluctance to show up and the millennials wanting to die.
Yeah,
But
that was
two-
the raid. Like they probably walked up like, "Hey, can you let us in?" They're like,
No.
If you cross that line, we actually have to shoot you. And they're like,
Like,
all right.
all right, never mind.
And there was,
Basically
speaking
what
of the
happens.
This is
Natura
fun.
run, there was one guy who actually managed to
One dude.
run behind a newscaster on a broadcast.
Oh, yeah, I
Just
saw
sit
that.
with his arms behind his
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Like when they were,
But
I just think that it's
we-
funny that army sergeants had to explain to them
Yeah.
what all that stuff was and had to demonstrate what it looks like. And I just find it so hilarious.
They went
whole thing
from
was-
2 million people with another 1.5. That's 3 million people saying yeah to 150
They did
people
have a
actually
speech.
showing up. It's interesting how that works there.
There was a party though.
That's
which is
less
kinda
Yes,
fun.
that was
less than even
a
10%.
couple, like 1,000, 1,500 people showed up to
yeah,
the party.
Yeah.
But
I'll go
the
to a
actual
party.
Raid,
to the actual
raid?
raid,
No.
150 people.
Because
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to be a real thing
No,
anyway. It was a
no.
joke.
So
Exactly.
does that mean that, wow, I can't believe 150 people actually showed up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It's not that. See, it's not like, man, 1 million, 2 million people pledge. Why did they show up? That's not the question. The question is, what is wrong with the 150 dumb people that did
That
show
think
up
that it's actually going to happen.
that couldn't believe, like no, or maybe they're just like, I just want to go see Area 51.
I just kind of wanted to see what would
wanna
happen.
go
I'm going to
see
be out
it.
on the hill, just not being over there.
I was
close.
curious enough to see myself watching to see what happened. That's as far as I went. I didn't even say I was interested.
I love the fake memes or the real memes
Yeah.
about fake news. Like, guy shows up to Area 15. Army felt bad for him. Just turned him away.
Gave him a pizza and a cup of tea and said, "Go on, but
Sorry,
it's okay.
you're
We're
just-
not going to arrest you."
Yeah, you're dyslexic. Sorry, man. Something like that.
Yeah.
All right,
think- I
so
think
My
um,
new favorite memes going on now are the ones with that girl from Sweden or wherever.
Oh yeah, the Greta Grunberg. Yeah.
And what I'm finding hilarious about this, and I don't say this on Facebook because I know if I say it on Facebook, I'm going to get like 20
which we are
SJWs.
on
on Facebook
Facebook
Live.
Live.
Yeah, but we're not really.
That's
It's not like it's my post that someone can look up 5 years from now and go like, you know what, you're wrong, man.
yeah, that's true.
So my favorite thing is like all the SJWs that I'm friends with. They're like, this girl, this is amazing. You see her? She's changing the world. I'm like, she ain't changing nothing.
No, she
Let it
she's,
go.
She's complaining to the choir of deaf people, basically.
Yeah, she's just complaining, and it's fine, and it's like great. It's like
And I wish her the best in it, but
good luck.
It falls on deaf
I'm
ears.
glad she's like trying to do stuff. But it's like stop trying to like make a messiah out of a 16-year-old girl with Asperger's.
Yeah.
So that's it for the news. Okay.
But my
Okay.
point being, like,
Yes.
the millions of memes
Yeah.
that are coming, and like, look at that. I'm like, in 6 weeks, you're just gonna have more memes about something else.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like her 15 minutes of frame is gonna be 6 weeks long.
It's a rotating.
and it's just gonna be something
it's
else.
it's a revolving door.
Like you're so passionate about today. It's like, let's wait in 2 weeks if you remember her name.
Very true. Final meme thought.
there
My
you go.
favorite Area 51 meme is,
Yeah.
while we all trying to raid Area 51, let's raid FAFSA. Wipe out
So-
all the student debt.
So let's
that- wait,
let's
we got-
raid
we got
let's
people
raid where they
waiting.
do the
Our
the
guest is
car.
waiting,
That's fine. The car extended warranty claims. Let's raid that. I saw that.
That's
That
a
was
good one,
good.
too. That's a good one,
Even
too.
you must get those calls.
No.
Your car is qualified.
No,
for
your
an
car is not
extended
qualified
warranty.
for any extended warranty
No, not at all.
whatsoever.
So we're gonna
Anyway.
take our break. So that's it with the news. We're gonna take our break, and we'll be right back with It Came from the Radio. All right, so call them up.
You got it. All right, they're gonna hear all this too, by the way.
Okay,
so we
good.
have to be quick.
Hi, you've heard my
Okay,
voice
so we
open
are
and close
calling
the
them
show.
right now.
Now we want to hear your voice. If you have a business or product, you can record a commercial here. We offer 30 and 60-second spots. For more information, contact
What if I'm
Mark
like, sorry, we're
at
busy.
MFC_studios
Carol.
at
Hello.
hotmail.com.
Hi, Carol. Sorry, we're just playing over the music right now because it's kind of combined right now. But it's Steve from before. So just stay on the line real quick, and we'll be right there, okay?
And you're listening to
Okay,
It
you're
Came From the
bubbly again, but I
Radio.
think this is the
Stick
way
around.
it's going to be.
That's fine. I'll do my best to
You're
try and
looking
keep
for
it as best as I
pre-code
can.
art, good girl art, or superhero comic books. Check out NotFromThisEarth.com.
Hello.
They
Hello, Paula.
specialize in rare comic books, but they also have
Okay,
an
so
extensive
we
stock
are
of popular
on
comics to
Facebook Live
help
right
you
now. We're running
fill
out
the
commercial
holes in your
break, and as soon as we
collection.
come
That's
back, you're going to be
NotFromThisEarth.com.
live on
Use
tape on the
code
show.
WARY to receive a 10% discount on your entire order. Also, stop by our pop-up store at 31 Grand Street in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn between Friday, September 13th
Did you guys get
and
all that?
Sunday, September 15th.
Hey kids, this is CJ Ramone of the world famous Ramones, and you're listening to It Came From the Radio.
Hey guys, I'm Christy and I'm here to make the coolest custom cake for your next event. I also do cake pops, cupcakes, cookies, you name it. So if you're searching for the perfect birthday gift, preparing for your big day, or maybe there's nothing coming up, but your sweet tooth may have just given your brain a swift kick because of me. Give me a call at 631-606-8166 or follow me at Custom Cakes by Christy INC. That's KRISTY. Thanks.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
This is Brian Downey, Stanley Tweedle from the TV series Lex, and you're listening to It Came From Radio.
Hello, everyone. This is Envoy Comic Distributors, the independent distributor
Almost there.
for independent minds. We represent some of the finest small press and self-publishers out there today. To learn more about us and our publishers, search for Envoy Comic Distributors on Facebook. And shop for us online at envoy.storenvy.com. That's envoy.storenvy.com. Have a great day.
Michael McManus. I played Kai on Lex. You're listening to It Came From the Radio.
Now, back to our show.
And welcome back to It Came From the Radio, the official of the Big Apple Con. Your host Mark Torres speaking along with Dominic Definition Man Soprano and Zambo the Engineer.
I'm sorry, what day is it? I forgot after that break.
It's a little quick break. We have a lot of
okay.
sponsors that,
Minor break.
do our show. But we should have, if I am correct, on the phone from the Magic Garden, legendary performers, Carol Demas and Paula Janis. Are you guys there?
Hello. Yes, Hi. we are.
Yay!
All right.
Nice
Huzzah!
Oh, we're here. Hello.
Hello! Sorry about all that noise before.
All right. So we've actually.
Okay.
There we go. So we actually had Carol and Paula 5 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long on our show.
You haven't aged a day.
That's true.
Yeah. It's kind of creepy
Oh. Creepy? Oh, dear.
that he hasn't.
It's creepy that you guys haven't aged a day. You're eternally young. That's what he's trying to get to.
I didn't meet them 5 years ago, but I
Oh,
knew
okay.
you about
Well,
5
as
years
long
ago.
as
I'm
that's
saying you
where
haven't
he's
aged a
trying
day.
to go.
Yeah, we'll take that, and
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the one question
That's
that
because the time in the Magic Garden doesn't age you, you see.
Well
there we
well
go.
said. I like that.
Very, very well said.
So you guys have always promoted that you were best friends for over 65 years, correct?
Well, now it's 67.
Now 67 years. So the question that I have for
What
you
if they
guys
said,
first
like,
off,
no, we really don't like each other? And just mess with you on that
It's
one.
all
like,
contractual.
Yeah. So long as we're working, we're friends.
So my initial question is, how did you guys meet? Because I've never heard that story.
Really? Oh, my goodness. We were in high
On
school.
set.
We were 14, and we were in the mixed chorus of Midwood High School. And Carol was,
That was in Brooklyn.
a soprano with her high butterfly voice, and I was an alto with my low voice. And we became friends in the mixed chorus, and the rest is history.
So you were high school friends all these
That's
years
right.
later, and you're still performing together. Like, how does that relationship work?
Very well.
You know, some of the reasons why it works is because in some ways we're on the same wavelength. We love a lot of the same things. We're both very imaginative. We both we were teachers together, which you can get to or not as you please. But we were also very different, so that we each bring something different to the relationship, which just makes us all the richer for it, I think.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
That's
We've
really
never had a giant battle. We've had disagreements, but we've never had a split up or anything like that.
Or really a fight. We've had, as you said, some disagreements, but we always managed to work them out and laugh.
Right. I mean, we were just here. We have Sherlock here on the office table. He's taking a nap at the moment, and we have some things that we're going to use for him in our show at Bolton Center, because Halloween is coming. So we were trying them on him, and it was such fun because he looked so goofy. We share a lot of laughs, and there's a lot of sweetness in that.
So basically, what we saw on TV is what we get in real life.
And that's one of the things that people seemed to grasp, that the friendship that we showed on television wasn't just made up for television, but was really the real thing. And I think that's one of the reasons why the fans are still coming to see us, because that friendship was special, and they remembered it and loved it.
And we've seen each other through a lot of real life that has been anything but a magic garden. And that's only added to the strength of our relationship.
And
we've even lived together at times. When my house burned down, my husband and I moved in here with Carol and her husband.
Wow.
And when Carol had Lyme disease, she moved in with me.
Yeah, we were under construction here. Stuart and I were building. We were adding on to the little bungalow that we had bought, and we ran into a lot of trouble, and we had to tear the whole bungalow down. We had nothing left but the fireplace. And meanwhile, I got sick with Lyme, and it was pretty serious because I had to be on intravenous because it was very entrenched before it was diagnosed. And it was just too unbelievably impossible here, and dusty and, dangerous. So I went to live with Paula.
Wow.
All of that is all part of our lives together. And, Paula had 3 children. I wasn't lucky enough to have my own. She was happy enough to share them. And
there were times when I offered them to her, but she wouldn't take them.
When Stuart and I were trying to have our own family, Paula had 3 teenagers, and you know how that can be. And she said to me, "You can have mine."
She was very wise and did not take me up on the offer.
I have never met a parent that's not willing to hand off their children at some point.
At some point.
Right.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they tell us, the parents tell us, who come with their grown-up children now, and then their grandchildren tell us, "You were my peace and quiet for half an hour. I literally handed off my children to a visit with you on television, and that was the best part of my day."
Yes, we still hear it too. It's amazing.
You really
and
did.
We get 3 generations in the audience.
Yes.
Now. The grandmother who was the original mother, the mother who was the original child, and the new child who is scratching his head and saying, "How come my mother and my grandmother know the words to these songs that they're singing?"
So
never ceases to amaze.
I think part of the fun for them is seeing their parents and grandparents suddenly turn into 5-year-olds.
It isn't a transformation, because when I saw you guys at the Eternal Con and I saw you perform, it happened. Like, holy crap, all of a sudden I was a young kid again. I was like, what the hell just happened? It was amazing to see you guys perform right there in front of my eyes. It was so awesome, I gotta say.
Well, thank you.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you.
We'll be doing that again at Bolton Center.
Yeah, so that's
on
going to be
October 6th.
on October 6th in Long Island at what was it, Bolton Center, right?
At Bolton Center
Bolton
in Bayshore.
Center for the Performing Arts. Right.
In Bayshore, yes.
And you guys performed there before, right?
Yes, and they've always been so good to us there. It's a lovely place to play. It's a great atmosphere. And, we do these very extensive meet and greets after every one of our live family performances. And Bolton's always so good about that. They have a nice space where we can do it, and we give everybody some time to say hello, and we sign autographs, we sign our merchandise. We have our CDs and our posters and DVDs and all that stuff with us. And we take photographs with our fans or just of us, and Bolton, organizes the whole thing so that while people have to wait on a long line, which isn't so different from some of these big autograph shows, they are patient. They're so sweet, and Bolton just, guides it along and keeps everybody happy.
When we're on stage and we sing the Hello song, we ask the audience, is there anyone out here who was waiting for us to say their name? And they all raise their hand because, obviously we never said those names. So
and they're laughing while they do it.
Yeah. And it's funny because when people see us on the street together, and since we're very good friends, we are out on the street together, they say three things. The first thing is, it's really them.
And then they say,
they're still alive. And the last thing they say is, you never said my name. So, of course, then we have to stop whatever we're doing and sing that person's name so they can then get on with their lives.
It's so sweet because these people are somewhere between late 30s and mid-50s.
That's right.
And they're still waiting for this moment. Who would imagine that? It means so much to them. So it means so much to us.
We never had a clue, ever, when we were making the 52 shows of the Magic Garden, because that's all there were.
So that's an extra interesting question. Like, when you decided what names to say, did you have like a list of most common names at that time, or we just like,
we went through our families. That's the children and the third cousin twice removed, and God knows who else,
and the next door neighbors.
Right.
And I was doing Grease on Broadway at the time. I was doing 8 shows a week as Sandy, as the original Sandy, and we shot on Mondays. But I once said hello. We said hello to the entire Grease cast. The names of all of the people.
The actual actors or the actors or the characters?
Right, the actors.
Oh,
the
okay.
actors themselves.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So when you guys were making the Magic Garden, and you have new songs every week, did you write the songs yourselves? Did you plan out how this whole show was going to go? How did that all come together?
There was one song I wrote that's registered with ASCAP, and that was it. It's not exactly a big songwriting career, is it?
We had a blanket ASCAP license because Channel 11 had that license at the time. So we could sing any song that had been published.
Oh,
so we
amazing.
did. We sang Broadway songs, we sang folk songs, we sang songs that nobody ever heard of. We sang songs that people knew.
I can't even use songs on Facebook
It was
anymore.
a wonderful way to be able to sing anything.
And kids, were being exposed to all of this different music, which was not pre-recorded. It was absolutely live. It was just 2 voices and a guitar. And a lot of people were amazed at how varied, we could present, what a varied program of music we could present. And people tell us today that we sang things that they had never heard before and kinds of music that they had never been introduced to. And it broadened their understanding of what kind of music was in the world. And some of them said it really changed, it opened their eyes and ears to a whole new part of life, which is something you just hope for. You dream that this is possible, and we found out that it was.
People, when they come to see us they wait to see us after a show, every once in a while a person will show up with an old guitar that has been played madly for 40 years, and they want me to sign it because they got this guitar after watching me play it on the show. And that is always so dear. I can't believe how dear it is.
It's just wonderful.
Yeah, it's very special.
So speaking of very special, one thing about the show on the 6th of October, which is very special, is that you guys are going to have the original Sherlock on the program, which you normally don't have.
That's right. Right.
And you're going to be using, from what I understand, you're going to have props from the original set as well?
A few
Some of
pieces,
them,
yes.
some of them,
The mushrooms will be with us, the famous mushrooms, which we always have to help our audience to have another laugh about, because people claimed that our show was psychedelic and we must have been eating them. But
yes, if you can even imagine, we heard that again and again.
But we can prove that we weren't, because there they are and they're intact.
And people often thought that, oh my goodness, they must be high as kites, but nobody could ever have been less high than we were. We were absolutely just, rock bottom. We never, ever entertained anything like that.
Well, we were high on friendship and high on
right,
music,
and
and probably high on lack of sleep.
That too, and just laughter in general.
Right.
Well, because the thing is,
imagine we would go from being children, climbing in and out of cardboard boxes and putting on crazy things out of the story box and bringing stories to life, and then one of the puppets would have a dilemma or an issue that they were very unhappy about, and we would soothe them and talk to them as the adults we were. But we were able to freely move, from one thing to another, which we are beginning to discover was one reason why people still have us in their hearts the way they do. And that's, it's taken us years. I was thinking about it today. It's to synthesize this thought that when people say, well, what do you think is the reason why people still remember your show? And I think that's one of the major reasons.
Well, I think the music, the timing of the show, the target audience, obviously, it makes it ingrained in your life, because at that time, well, especially back then, there wasn't much to see that was good, much to see that the whole family could see. So it did have a special place at that time. And I mean, you guys had mentioned when you were on a show 5 years ago that you were looking forward to trying to bring the show back. I think that now, more than ever, would be another great time to have a family-friendly...
We're still talking about it.
Yeah, a family-friendly...
We actually were talking yesterday with some people who have been very involved in children's television and currently as well, and are working on another new project of their own, and they've all been into this for at least 10 years, maybe longer, and they're all fans, and they wanted to come and have a meeting with us. So the idea of our being able to make a contribution to something new has not wavered.
Bring it to Netflix.
So maybe, we'll see.
It would be great,
We don't know.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about what people are going to see at the Bolton Center on the 6th, or at any of your general shows? Is it another episode? Is it a mixture of old show and new show? What's actually going to happen at the performance?
What a good question.
It's mostly the nostalgia that everybody's looking for. And it's not somebody being us, it's us. We're older, obviously. The Magic Garden went on the air 47 years ago.
I cannot believe it's been that long. Makes me feel very old.
And it went off the air in 1984, and we figured, it would just sort of slowly
fizzle.
But instead, everywhere we go, we meet all of these people for whom it was a really vivid memory still and very meaningful to us. And sometimes when they try to tell us about it, especially at some autograph shows or at our meet and greets, it's so important to them that they're in tears. Yeah. So what we know they want when they come to see us is some of what they remember, and we deliver that for them both in doing all the signature songs, and we have clips of great moments that everybody loves to see over and over again from the original show. And we have some new stuff.
And we have, of course, Sherlock, up to his tricks, as usual, and things that, he does that people expect him to do, and he still does them. So.
And nothing could make them happier than when he does them all, just the way they remember them.
Right.
So do you guys actually go back and watch the old shows, or you just, since you've lived it, you know it, you don't need to go back?
We were there. We don't have to.
Well, we've watched them again in order to put together our DVD collection, which is 10 favorite shows. We really had to go through a lot of them. We had to go way down memory lane to make a plan about what would be included, and we also had to see what was still in good enough shape to reproduce in this format. And we also have done some looking back because we want to put the clips in our live performances that would be the most fun and the best memory, and people see them again and again, and it's like we all are with things that we the television shows that we used to love, we'll revisit with people we know. Remember that moment when thus and such happened, on something like The Honeymooners or whatever it was. And so that's what we bring, because that's what makes people really happy.
My daughter Monica sat down and watched every show and wrote a page about what was in every show, from what we wore to what jokes we told to what songs we sang, what stories. I mean,
deep research.
How she survived that, I don't know.
It was the most incredible piece of work. No one had ever done this.
No. And we certainly didn't know, because it was so long ago, who could even remember?
And when we did them, it was all rather frantic. We just had that one day, on that simple set, which people remember so well, but it was hardly, a giant work of art. It was very artful, it was creative, and it was dear, and it served our purposes, and then they would pack it all up, and they would have something else going on there. The news would come back into that.
That was the one studio at Channel 11.
Wow.
And that was
Channel
where
11.
the news was. They would set up the news, and the news would be delivered, and then they would chop it down, and up would go the Magic Garden.
The Magic Garden would go back to wherever it was they stored it, and the guys who worked on it then, the crew that worked on it then, were working on the Yankees, the Yankee games, because the Yankee games were on Pix in those days.
Yeah.
And they loved coming to do the Magic Garden. It was a big change.
It was very funny, though. Sometimes we felt like they were searching for that fly ball that would be, going somewhere in Yankee Stadium.
So they'd be pulling pieces of nylon thread. That fishing line was controlling the magic tree arm that went up and down, or the chuckle patch moving, or some other thing that would happen. Nothing was done that wasn't really it was like a live stage performance, pretty much. And they would lie there, pulling these things around and making faces at us, while we tried to stay on what our obligations to do something or other. In this moment of time, we would be given. We had outlines. We did not have scripts full of dialogue. That all came from us. And some of the outlines did too. We would know that in this segment it's 2 minutes long, and this is what we do. And once in a while there would be a line that we would be obliged to say, because it would be a cue of some kind, and the rest of it we were out there freewheeling.
And there was no such thing as redoing anything. It started and it went straight through till it ended.
So it's the ultimate improvisational experiment going on here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good description.
There were a few things that didn't go as planned, but it made them very funny. And we did do a show in which we revisited a lot of this that WPIX ran a long, long time ago, and we saw some of the outtakes. We looked for outtakes, but then we realized that most of them actually stayed in it.
So we have about 10 minutes to go, so we got to promote the show. So where can people buy tickets? Where can people find out more about you guys and what's going to be happening? If they miss this show, you still do other performances, correct?
Yes, we will be up in Woodstock on November 3rd, at the Colony, which is ordinarily a big music venue. I mean, they do some theater there, theatrical things there, but mostly bands and things like that. And we're there because of two fans who have a company called Out of the Woods Productions, who are videographers and very experienced and awfully nice people. And the way we met them was because down the Facebook pike came this picture of two women dressed exactly like us, with the hair, the long pigtails, exactly like us, and one of them carrying a guitar, and in between them was someone who was dressed as part Magic Tree and part Sherlock, if you can imagine that. The bottom of him, his name is Jeff, was very stiff fabric like canvas, painted to look like a tree from his waist down, and from the waist up, he was Sherlock in all
sticking out of the tree.
In all his pink glory. And behind him, I still don't know how they did this, they had some of the Magic Tree with the leaves the same colors and shape as the original. And how he even moved, I don't know. And Halloween is a big deal, apparently, up in Woodstock. Even your pet chicken gets a costume. And they won 2 big costume contests with this. And so this picture came our way, and it was so amazing.
It was amazing.
You know, I wrote to them. I found them and I wrote to them and I said, thank you for doing this. And the next thing you know, they decided they're going to bring a live performance of the Magic Garden to Woodstock, which is something we've played in a lot of places, something we've never done. We haven't been up there. So we'll be there at the Colony for 2 shows on November 3rd, and Sherlock will be with us.
And what's the website?
They are also doing videos of us, following us around and taking our pictures.
Like a documentary style
Gosh,
thing?
only knows what that will be like.
Right. They're trying to put together a documentary. They're very serious about
they
it.
are.
And so now all the pieces are being collected.
Wow.
And that, some of it is interviews of us in our lives. Some of it is pieces of performances that they're picking up. They've been to the house concerts that I'm doing here in my home, and Paula, is a starring guest, and we do a Magic Garden portion, and they have videoed 2 of those so that they have everything they need. They're incredible and loving and good at what they do, and they're just like a gift that came out of
Came out of Halloween.
Right.
A Halloween gift.
And we don't know what will happen. No, we don't know where it'll go. And by the way, while we're plugging things,
yes,
if anybody would be interested in coming to one of the last 2 house concerts of this series, we've done 6 so far, and I know you were there.
Yes,
so
I was, and Charlie was there too. It was amazing.
You liked it a lot.
I did.
There will be one on October 12th and one on November 9th. And if you go to my website, caroldemas.com, Carol has an E, I think it might even be on carolandpaula.com as well, you can see where you have to go to get more information. And as far as you said Bolton, how do you find out about that?
Yes.
You go to boltoncenter.org, and you click on events, and you scroll down to us, and then you click on tickets.
All right.
And I think there's also a box office number. I don't know what the box office hours are, but so there's more than one way to do this.
I think you also can go to the Magic Garden Facebook page and scroll along there, and it will tell you how to get to the Bolton
That's right.
show.
There's been a post about it, and there will probably be another one. And on my Facebook page, there's information too, and that's caroldemas.com.
All right, so we are...
So there are ways and ways to find out.
If you want to find us, you can find us.
Yes. So we're at our 5-minute mark, less than 5 minutes to go, so we have our final thoughts right now. So since you guys are our guests, would you like to go first and tell us your final thoughts?
I just want to quickly remind you that when we spoke to you, you wanted to remind people that while Comic-Con is at the Javits Center the same weekend, it goes on for 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you are a person or a family that loves the Magic Garden and you love Comic-Con too, you can take them both in the same time frame.
And maybe we should sing them a few bars of the Hello song, even though it's the end. It's nice to say hello, hello, hello. It's nice to say hello, hello, and how are you?
And how are you, anyway?
We are doing quite well. Thank you very much.
You need to ask them to do a Yappa Toy song.
So Zambo,
Yes.
final thought.
Final thought, it's fantastic to hear something that I bet you my parents do know, and I'm kind of curious if they do. And I absolutely love it. I love the idea. I love the concept of it all, and I look forward to hopefully watching the content when I can get my hands on it, and if I can potentially make it down there, then I'll be more than happy to.
I don't think you'll have a difficult time with that. And we are going to keep the magic going for as long as we can, and as long as people need it, which in these days and times, speaking of final thoughts, people say they just love to think about the Magic Garden, the love of it, the fun of it, the playfulness, the silliness, the things they learned. And, that's classic stuff. That doesn't change, even though children's entertainment has changed a great deal. Parents will buy our DVD collection and they say, well, truthfully, it was for me because I just
I needed an excuse to watch it, and
wanted
the
to
kid
make
was
a
perfect.
trip back there. I think, well, I needed a little magic garden in my life. But my kids are fascinated, and that interests us a lot because
And that's passion right
it's very classic styled stuff. It's not like what's out there now, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
And we find that very curious and wonderful.
That's
All right.
great.
So, Dominic, you have a final thought?
Go see the show.
Do it.
Great.
Go see the show.
Right, there's two shows. It's the
Go see the
shows.
shows.
12:30 and 4.
And 4 o'clock at the Bolton Center in Bayshore on the 6th of October.
Correct.
My final thought is this. Thank you guys very much for being a guest on our show again. Much continued success. Not like you need it. Yes, make sure you guys go to carolandpaula.com. It's Carol with an E. Look for tickets on the show. And like I said, it is going up against Comic-Con. So if you guys want to have a family-friendly, non-crowded event, this is the place to go. You don't want tons and tons and tons of hundreds and thousands of people. It's a nice show. It's a good family-friendly event. It is something that I've seen in person, and it's amazing. I can say my final thought would be you guys still got it, and I am so glad to be a part of your life, even in the littlest bay.
Thank you.
So that about does it for this week on It Came From the Radio. Join us right here every week on this radio station. If you miss any part of the show,
tough.
Go to our website, www.itcamefromtheradio.com. Listen to your archives. Will be up in a week or so. Or check us out on places such as Overcast, Pocket Cast, iHeartRadio, Google Play, iTunes, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, Podbean, Player FM, Soundcast, Acast, Castbox, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podmus, Luminary, Blueberry, Mixcloud, or Apple Podcasts, or
United States, Panama, Mexico. Oh, sorry. Just Google It Came From the Radio.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
You've been listening to It Came From the Radio.
So thank
with
you so
Mark
much,
Torres.
guys.
The views of
that
the
is the show. I will
hosts
send
and
you all the
guests
links when it
do
comes
not
up on Monday.
necessarily reflect
And I'm
that
looking forward
of
to
the
seeing you guys
management,
next week on
owners,
Sunday.
or staff of the
Great.
station.
We're looking forward to
We
seeing
now
you
return
too.
you.
Thank you
to your
so much,
earthly
and have a good one,
scheduled
guys.
Take care.
Thanks we had a good time. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
So that was Paula and Carol. They even said "Bye, see you, which is their goodbye song, in case you're unaware of that.
Completely
Hope you had
unaware.
a good time. But yeah, it was really cool having them on as guests. And like I said, the show is gonna be at the Bolton Center on October 6th, and they have other stuff that they have performances of. And the concert series, as I had mentioned, was a really good thing. Like I said,
And I
she
understand
still
they have
got it.
really great cheese.
They have really great cheese there. You have a little snacks in the beginning. You get a live performance right in front of an intimate crowd in their house. It's an amazing house, first of all, and just to see them perform in front of you, like it was so really cool. And Charlie loved it. I loved it. All the people there loved it. And you can still have your chance to go and get tickets for the private concerts that they're having. So yeah, so that's it. That is the show.
Keep going. You're good.
No, that's
Sorry.
me saying
No, you're
myself.
fine.
So now we
talking.
gotta do the house cleaning.
That was weird.
My bad.
We're going
Had to stop
to
it.
our show. We're going to have our 25th live show on 10/16 at the Source Mall, second floor, the food court. We're going to have Christy Cakes. She's going to be giving away a basket of cake pops, which are very tasty, for free in our raffle. And we also have 2 free tickets to Long Island Comic Expo that we're going to be giving away. So shout out to the guys at the Long Island Comic Expo for those tickets. And we're also going to give away 2 tickets to the Suffolk County Comic and Art Expo. So we're going to be giving away 2 sets of 2 tickets, free cake pops on the raffle for all you guys to show up for our live show.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Phil Paul. Hi.
Yeah. So I want to do a shout out for you guys. Thank you very much for that. And I think that's it. Oh, your event. What's going on tonight? Right now.
Not right now, but at
Close to
7:30.
be.
Right now, later now.
7:30 tonight. If you come down to Industry Market in Huntington, New York, it's 344 New York Avenue. We're going to be doing a paint and carve pottery night. It's $65 at the door, or if you look it up on Facebook, you can get advance tickets at $55.
Do they get a discount they mentioned on our radio show?
No.
Oh.
Dang.
Not at all.
Not even 10 cents?
Not even.
You get a little street cred. How about that?
That's it. You just get to say, like, I love you on the radio. I'm like, thank you. But you do get one free. You get one free glass of wine. You get a tumbler to work on. Additional tumblers are $5. So sign up in advance, so that way you save yourself $10. But maybe don't. Maybe just pay me extra money when you come in. It'll be a lot of fun.
Please.
It's from 7:30 to 9:30 tonight.
And will you be doing any and Comic Cons next week?
And Comic Con, New York Comic Con. You can check us out at 1242. That's the booth number in small press. We're going to be right near the Marvel booth.
Ooh,
it's going to be
that's
awesome.
good times.
We're going to have such guests as Craig Johnson, Lewis from Shadow Rabbit. We're going to have Alexa Casaro on Friday. Those two guys are on Thursday. Craig is also going to be there on Friday. Joe Ciano will be there on Saturday. David Rondinelli will be on there Sunday. Everyone's going to have like days of signing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And you're going to have comics to sell, Pronto comics
We're
to
going to have
sell?
tons of comics to sell.
Do you have any titles that pop in your head you just throw out there?
We are going to have...
more fishy sarcasm?
We're going to have some fishy sarcasm. We're going to have Core. We're going to have Deathology #1. We're going to have a good amount of Manga Nation. So it's going to be a lot of the fan favorites that people really like to buy from us.
All right, so guys, make sure you do all that stuff. And then next week before Comic-Con, Dominic will not be here. And
Because I'm going to be very busy.
I'm going to have Charlie back.
Comic-Con.
I'm going to swap Dominic for Charlie. Charlie's going to be back next week.
Or maybe we're the same person and you never see us in the same place twice.
But I have.
I know.
And we're going to have
Never
our
mind.
next
Wait a
live
minute.
show at 2 p.m. now. 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
on Facebook Live, so you can check us out next week. And I think we're just going to have a pre-Comic-Con
We rolled
show.
it back for, like daylight savings.
Daylight
time.
savings times, exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week. And thanks a lot for everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Take kitties.